Today's video will be the only trading psychology video that you ever need to watch. We'll be covering some super deep stuff that most people, especially on YouTube, skip over. And to be completely honest with you, if you do not understand these concepts, there is no way that you are going to be successful as a trader. The things that we're gonna dive in are super deep, but not only that, a lot of times these things are kept secrets on purpose, while the market makers are out there laughing at you, taking your money every single time because you do not understand these concepts. This video is long and it's just one part out of a multi-video series that's actually part of one of my courses. Now I've put the entire course for free, so you can actually go somewhere down in the description. You'll find the entire course for free. It has like 7 more videos like this, and it has a whole trading masterclass when it comes to learning how to manually trade, and a full course that teaches you exactly how to do that from A to Z, and it's all completely for free. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So first off, I want to start by just going through my story, right? And then how I discovered the stuff that we're going to learn on this section. Because here's the thing, we will get into trading specific mindset a bit later on, but not now, because a lot of the trading mindset is really just based off on what you do in your life. So for example, if you're not consistent in your life, you can't really expect to be consistent as a trader. There's some things that correlate to each other. So if you're not doing them well outside of your normal life, you won't be able to do them inside of trading. Trading is just a reflection of you, of who you are. It's very interesting. But other than that, there's a lot of things that people don't even know, or people ignore, or never been educated on, that can literally change the trajectory of your life once you acquire the knowledge and you start understanding how everything works. So, all right, let me see. With the recording, how can I make myself? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, what I was saying is, mindset is extremely important, and there's a lot of aspects of mindset. But what we're gonna start with is understanding some universal laws and how the world works, and then being able to use these universal laws to your advantage to create the lifestyle, or to create the life that you want, or that you see for yourself, that you envision for yourself. At the end of the day, there's this quote, and I always stand by it and memorize it, and it's really simple. It says things are created twice. Once in your mind's eye, and the second time is in the real world. So before anything becomes reality, it was always a vision. It was always somebody's vision before it came to life. Like the life that you want to live for yourself, for your family, etc., etc. You know, you've seen it. You know what you want. You've seen it in your mind's eye. You imagine it, right? And then only then can it become actual reality. But before we get into all of that stuff, this is what I want. This is the goal that I want for a lot of you guys here. So let me show you this picture. Share screen. So it says, every family has someone who breaks the chain of living paycheck to paycheck. The one from your family is now reading this, which means you. So every family has that guy that just changes everything for you. And if you're on this Zoom call, it means you're serious about this. You do actually want to be this person that changes everything for your family, whether you have kids, whether you have parents, whether, I don't know, whatever you have, whatever your situation is. I'm pretty sure the reason why you're on this call is to change your living situation and to become exactly this person that is talked about on this picture. Now, of course, in order to become this, it's not going to be easy. It's not the most, like, it's not the path with the least challenges, On the contrary, you're going to have a lot of challenges. You're going to have a lot of things in your way that will go wrong, but that's what it takes. That's what it takes. At the end of the day, this is a journey we're going through. We're going through a life journey. It's not going to be smooth, right? It's not going to be all laughs and giggles. There's going to be a lot of challenging moments. There's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations. But at the end of the day, the one who sticks to it and sees his vision through gets to reap the rewards. The people that don't, well, you never hear about them, right? So make sure you're not the second type of person. Now, the other thing that I want to start this with is, first of all, understanding overall. Actually, let me go into my story first and then go into the brain a little bit into how it works. So I'm pretty sure some of you guys watch my YouTube videos and stuff. You saw the video that I did where like I literally filmed myself like 3 years ago saying all of the stuff that I wanted, that I'm living now, and then all of it became true. And yeah, so I was literally just a normal university student. I went to a normal university. I was actually terrible student. I basically barely passed because I was so uninterested in the stuff I was studying. And I knew it was bullshit. I knew like the whole education system is just a bunch of crap. And unless you're trying to be doctor, lawyer, some kind of things, the rest is all a bunch of crap. Is unnecessary. And you're better off just getting the experience in the real world. But because of that, I never really put that much effort into it. I wasn't really a good student. I wasn't anything special, but I always had this vision. I always wanted to become something. And if you watch that video, if you haven't, you definitely should. Let me link it here. And just to give you a baseline for like what is possible, like what I've been able to do in a short time span of like just a couple of years, and what you can do. Wait just a second. I'll put it in the chat now. Right here. So yeah, if you haven't watched this video, definitely go watch it. It will give you the results, like a before and after of myself. Because when I put that first video, the first video you see there, I was still in university. I was very broke, to be honest with you. I will be completely transparent. I was making maybe $1,000 per month, literally at that time. And the reason I couldn't make any more, because in Canada, there's laws where if you're a student, you can only work X amount of hours. And if you exceed it, they'll actually kick you out. So just a bunch of dumb stuff that makes no sense. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like that. So you're forced to be broke for like 4 years, 5 years of university. And it was very dark times. I was depressed. I was fucked up, right? During those times. I'm pretty sure some of you guys might be in that kind of position where you're feeling a little desperate, you're feeling a little down, you're a bit lost, and you're not making enough, right? And you want to change it. This is exactly why you're here. So I was in that position. I was broke ass college student. I wasn't good at school, but hey, we figured it out. I made it through, and I'll teach you here the stuff that I learned from that time, that took me from where I was then to who I am now, which is two extremely, totally different people. Like there was a whole identity switch that needed to happen in order for me to become who I am today. It's not by mistake. It's not just random luck. It was all by design. And in here, throughout the next couple of months that we're going to be together, we're going to gradually learn all of the things that I've put in place and that other people have put in place in order to achieve this. Because at the end of the day, it's not just me. Like, it's not just me. I'm not like someone super special that was able to make it because I'm a fucking genius. That's not the case. It's just that there's a few universal laws that if you follow, you are going to get the results that you want. It's just a law. You know, if you break the law, you go to jail. That's it. It's a law. The same way, there are natural universal laws. If you go by them, you will achieve the stuff that you want. Now, is it easy? No, it's never easy. And this is one of the other things. I want you to delete this word easy from your brain, because anything that's worth achieving is never going to be easy. If it was, then you wouldn't want to achieve it, right?
at the end of the day, you want to accomplish something that only a small percentage of people have been able to do, right? And if you want to be in that small percentage of people that have achieved that, don't expect it to be easy. Be willing to put in the work. And if you're on this coaching program, I'm pretty sure you are willing to put in the work. You're not going to come here and come to like 3 Zooms per week and like grind out with the EA, grind out with the manual trading, grind out with all this mindset stuff if you are not serious. So being here is the first step. That was a great move from all of you, and I congratulate you on that. Now let's get into the meat of the stuff. And yeah, let's start. Let me read the comments. James said exactly, it's easy to sit on your ass and do fuck all. It's hard to do extra when all have jobs and family and chores, etc. Yeah, of course. It's very easy to do nothing. It's very hard to go and achieve stuff in the real world. That's why a lot of people these days, like, they have all sorts of escapisms, whether it be drugs, whether it be video games, whether it be just sitting on their couch and being couch potatoes, anything for them to not do stuff in real life, in the real world, being productive and achieving their goals in real life. They rather just do it in a video game where it's easy, right? But yeah, let's get into it. I want to show you this picture, and it's very powerful. Right here. Let me share my screen. This one in the middle. So what I want you to understand is that your mind is divided into 2 parts. The one that we think is responsible for most of the stuff we do is actually not the right one. The part that you think with, that has logical thinking, that you use every day on a daily basis, is your conscious mind. And that's only 10% of your mind. So there's a whole 90% of your mind that is subconscious. So it's literally on autoplay, whether you know it or you're not. It's not something you can easily control. It's subconscious. Your conscious mind is very weak compared to your subconscious mind. And here's the problem. Our subconscious mind holds all of the things that can be responsible for success. So basically, all your beliefs, your emotions, your habits, your values, your reactions, your long-term memory, your imagination, and your intuition are properties of the subconscious mind. So if you cannot find a way to tap into this part of your brain, you're literally missing out. This is exactly why most people in life are lost. And most people in life have fuck all, like, no clue what they're doing. They're just living life extremely randomly, day by day. Whatever happens. This is why, because they don't understand these things. And matter of fact, only a small percentage of people understand these things. And the ones that do, well, they're successful and they're getting like the best out of life. So yeah, your conscious mind, which is what you use for logical thinking, when you're trying to make a trade, all of this stuff is only 10%. So like I said, 90% of your brain is unused. Let's see this other picture right here. It says the mind is like an iceberg. This is the surface that we see or that we can use, and then there's a whole 90% that is subconscious, that is programmed without our choice. So let me explain what I mean. So they say there's studies that have been made, and they say from the age pretty much 0 to all the way to like around 7 to 10 years old, this is where your subconscious mind picks up most of its stuff that till this day you're currently using. So you could be 40 years old, 50 years old, and your subconscious is still pre-programmed on stuff that you learned from when you were 0 to 10 years old. So anything that happened during that time period, any traumas, any beliefs, and all kinds of stuff will still affect you 30, 40, 50 years later. And that's what's dangerous. That's what's extremely dangerous. Because think about it. For example, I know a lot of us here didn't necessarily grow up with money, right? And maybe we were kids and we were hearing about our parents fighting about money. Hey, stop spending. It's so hard to make money. Hey, money doesn't grow on trees. Hey, like you see your parents fighting. Maybe your mom is a spender and your dad's trying to save, and then he's like, yo, like, why you spending this, that? Like, it's so hard to make money. And then you're a kid and you're listening to that. So what is your brain doing as a kid? Is that all of that stuff is going straight to your subconscious, and now you form a belief about money, for example. And it could be about anything. It could be you were in school as a kid and somebody told you, hey, you're ugly. And then 30 years later, you still think you're fucking ugly because of something that happened when you were in kindergarten or some crap like that. Because at that time, your subconscious mind was so prone to picking anything up, anything in this environment, anything that the government tells you, anything that your parents tell you, anything that your religion tells you. All of this stuff goes into your subconscious, and especially if you learned it at a very, very young age. And this is also where you start forming your identity. So your identity is basically your self-image, how you view yourself. So how you view yourself is extremely important, because you will never be better than whatever you view yourself as. So if right now you view yourself as an average Joe, just a normal dude or normal girl that's just destined for a normal fucking life and there's nothing special about you, then that's what you're always going to be. You're never going to exceed that self-image that you have in your brain about yourself. You're always going to be that. Now, on the contrary, if your self-image is that I'm a successful trader, I'm fucking killing it in business, I'm rich, I make 6 figures a year, this, that, and that's your self-image, even if you don't have the results, yet, if that's your self-image, throughout time, you're gonna start taking the actions, and stuff is just gonna happen in the world that will lead you to making that self-image a reality. This is why it's so important to view yourself in the best regards. So right now, if any of you look at yourselves as just the average Joe, you're not really worth anything, you're not really that special, it's time to change it. It's time to change it, because you are special. You're as special as you want to be. Excuse me. There's a saying from Henry Ford, and he says, if you believe you can't or you can, you're right. Either way. So that basically means your self-belief runs that. If you think you can achieve something or you don't think you can achieve something, you're right either way. If you think you can do it, then yes, you're right, you can do it. If you don't think you can do it, then you won't be able to do it no matter what happens in the world. That's something that you need to change internally. That's a deep belief that you need to change internally. So somebody just commented, facts, getting past my parents' beliefs about money is what helped me grow as a trader. I now look at money from an abundance perspective rather than lack. I do my best to teach my son to have a healthier relationship with money so that he doesn't run into the same obstacles later on in life. 100%, 100%. So this is Ara, our manual trading instructor, and he's had success with trading. And I'm pretty sure he had to go through this stuff that I'm talking about here in order for him to become successful. And he's doing his son a favor, making him learn this stuff at a very young age, where his subconscious is still very prone to everything, so that later on in life, he's actually built on great fundamentals, and his subconscious is made up of very good stuff. Whereas most of us that didn't grow up, unfortunately, with parents who had this knowledge, or parents who were ignorant, didn't know a lot of stuff. And it's not necessarily their fault, because nobody teaches you this kind of stuff, right? This is like, a lot of people want to keep this stuff secret from you, because let's be honest here, the economy, the system, whatever you want to call it, the matrix, they want to keep you unaware. They want to keep you very slave-minded, so that you're just a hamster on the wheel doing work for cheap, and they're using you for your resources. That's what benefits them. But unfortunately, that's not what benefits you. What benefits you is to live an amazing life, an abundant life, a life full of joy, full of money, full of anything that you want, full of traveling, full of having great friends, all of that good stuff. That's what you deserve. That's what's best for you. But that's not what's good necessarily for whoever runs the world, right? So they don't want you to know all this stuff. But of course, we're here, and yeah, is our mission. If you have learned this and if you've been privileged enough to get this knowledge, it's your mission in life to pay this forward and to teach others about this. So this is exactly why I chose myself to teach the mindset class, because hey, I had to be taught. And whoever taught me, I was like, okay, once I learn this, I need to pay it forward. And then everybody here who actually gets this stuff and goes on to achieve all of the stuff that they want to achieve, you have to pay it forward for the next person and the next person. We have to keep this going. But yeah, are there any questions here so far? Because I know I said a bunch of stuff, and so some people, they already heard this stuff. Some people never heard this stuff ever before. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. No questions, but would be good to put these screenshots in the mindset chat in Discord. All right, I'll put them right now, actually, so that you guys can keep them. The one Marine said, this is beautiful, bro. It is. It's more beautiful when you can actually put it into action and see the results for yourself. That's when it gets really interesting and really beautiful. Once you understand that you can actually create your reality instead of just living it and be just a visitor, or like life happens to you and you don't have no control. That's not true. The truth is that you can create your reality. Like everything. You remember what I said, the first quote that I said? Everything is created twice, once in your mind's eye and then in real life. That's with everything, bro. Like whatever I do now, me being an entrepreneur and a trader and very successful and stuff, I used to visualize all of this stuff when I was in my college dorm room, broke as hell, making nothing. I had that vision since then. And look how long it took for it to become reality. It took a little while. Or even afterwards, after I become successful, then you start manifesting stuff that you want. I literally had a visualization, and we'll get into all of this stuff later on how you can do it and all of that. But I was visualizing like a certain watch that I wanted. I was visualizing having it on my wrist and feeling it, all of that stuff. And now it's right here. This is a very expensive watch, Richard Mille, almost 200 grand. But now I actually have it. And I had it in my brain, in my mind first, before now I actually acquired it yesterday in real life. So it's very important, man. This stuff is powerful. Once you understand all of this stuff, you start just creating stuff in your brain and working towards stuff, and then you just achieve it in real life. And it's just, you just keep on doing this kind of stuff. You keep on creating this reality in your brain, and then you just keep manifesting it each time. Eric B said, what do you personally do to train your subconscious mind? So yeah, we're definitely going to get into that, into like deeper into that, and what you can do to do this. So first of all, I want to ask some questions. And I want you to answer yes if this was the case for you. So on the chat, just answer yes if this was the case for you. When you were a kid or a teenager, did you see your parents fight about money? Did you see comments such as, hey, money doesn't grow on trees, money is hard to make, all of this kind of stuff? If you did hear this while you were young, write a yes in the chat. Okay, so almost everyone is saying yes, which is crazy. So this means that to this day, if you haven't changed your subconscious mind and your subconscious beliefs about money, you still believe that. You still believe to this day that money is hard to make, that money doesn't grow on trees. And that's the programming that you're running on in your brain. So how are you supposed to make money or to make a lot of money if in your brain, subconsciously, your brain believes that it's hard to make money? It's not possible. Even if your conscious brain knows it's like, no, I can't make money. I see so many people in trading and they're making money. No, I know I can do it. And that's your conscious brain saying that. But your subconscious brain is like, nah, man. My parents told me it was hard to make money, so it's hard to make money. and it's so hard to change it. This is why the majority of people are not successful. Edward said, did you first start with manual trading? Yes, I was manual trading until like last year, but this is outside of what we're talking about here. But yeah, wait, Ara said, Axel, have you read, studied law of attraction? Curious if your mindset comes from sources such as that or from seeing the proof of your manifestation become reality, or both. No. All of the stuff I learned from books. I am, like I said, I am not a genius. I did not create this myself. I just went there and I studied extremely hard all of this stuff. I studied it a lot. I will give you all the resources that I studied myself, and we'll explore them and go through deep with them. And yes, it had everything to do with law of attraction and all of that stuff. But law of attraction, let's talk about law of attraction. The way, wait, before we get into that, who here has heard about law of attraction before? If you have, type yes. Yes. Okay, so we have a couple of people. Who here? Only Xavier said only a couple of months ago. Chelsea do it every day, but like, okay, so most of you guys have heard about this concept before, so it's not new. Okay, now the problem is there's like a, what's the word I'm looking for? I think people have made it sound in a way where it's unrealistic. It's like, oh, you're just gonna think about this thing and then suddenly it's just gonna happen to you. You're just gonna attract it in your life. It's just gonna come. And that's not how it works. Like, that's a very basic understanding of how it works. In reality, there's a lot of nuances that come into that, because if that approach was real, then everybody would have what they want, right? Then everybody who thinks, all of you guys right now would be extremely successful because you think about trading and being successful at it. So why aren't you successful if that was the case, right? So law of attraction is real, but it's not as simple as they make it seem in the media, I guess. Or like, there was this movie, The Secret, right? And that's the one that introduced most people to this law of attraction stuff. But The Secret, while it had good intentions, it also lacked a lot of things. It made it seem like just you can just have miracles and just shit happens out of nowhere, where that is kind of true, but not 100%. So there's the way that I do it and the way that I've learned to do it is a much more, is like a step. Chelsea said it didn't go deep enough. Yeah, definitely didn't go deep enough. They hit just like extremely surface level, and then they stopped it there. And then a lot of people were puzzled, like, oh, so all I need to do is think about this thing and now I'm gonna get it. But then that's not the case. Like, you have to think about this thing, visualize it, and then actually take steps towards achieving that thing. There's a lot of things that go into this, but we'll get into it as time goes by. But what I wanted to say about law of attraction, the way that I use it is more of a logical step-by-step approach. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna just think. There's like actual steps that I take in order to create the reality that I want. And the first step is always to change our subconscious beliefs, because if we cannot start there, no matter what we add on top of it won't really matter. So you can learn all of the trading shit. You can learn from the best traders and you understand everything. You might do good for a bit and you'll always find a way to fuck it up, because deep down in your subconscious mind, you don't believe you're good enough, or you don't believe that money is that easy to make. All kinds of this stuff will always get you in a self-sabotage position. How many of you here have, like, we're doing really good, consistently doing good, boom, 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 and then just something out of nowhere just comes and it just wipes you out, all of it. All of your profits are gone. Now you're just back where you started and you don't understand what happened. You're like, what the fuck? Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, that's me. Happens, no doubt. Yes, exactly. And whether you believe it or not, a lot of why that happens to you is because of this. Is because I saw this scenario a lot, and I'll relate it to prop firms and stuff because I've seen this happen before. I saw people that were not necessarily very confident in themselves and their skills and all of that. And they clearly had a lot of subconscious negative beliefs and limiting beliefs. But they would like join us and they would start using the EA. And matter of fact, they were smart enough to actually figure it out pretty fast. So they would go ahead, pass the first phase, pass the second phase, and then as soon as they get the live account, they just fuck it up. Boom. It doesn't even last a week, and they already blew all of it. The reason why that happens again is because subconsciously they know, they believe, they believe that they're not worth it, or they believe that it's so hard to make money. So how can it be this easy that I just use some bot and then it comes out of nowhere? That's what their subconscious mind is believing. So no matter what happens, they're gonna find a way to mess it up. I'm pretty sure a lot of you here are like that. Even if we give you the best whatever, the best course on trading, the best bot in the world, all of that, you'll still find a way to lose because you have to change this stuff first. So yeah. Let me share my screen again and have this one. So yeah, like it says here, beliefs, identity, all of that stuff. Now, the good thing about it is that there are ways that you can tap into your subconscious brain and change the stuff in it. So I think in today's session, I might want to go into a couple of ways that I used myself to change not only my beliefs, but also my self-image. And self-image is something that you can actually curate for yourself. And I want to show you that I actually have, if you guys don't have it, I definitely suggest, matter of fact, not suggest, this is mandatory. You need a journal. You need to have a personal journal. And no, you're not going to go and write your diary and stuff in it. You don't have to do that. That's not what this is for. But you need a journal. And we're going to be using stuff like this throughout the next couple of months that we're going to have it. So I've had this for a while. I've had this since I was broke, and I still have it. It still didn't run out of papers. But the good thing about it is that I can see an extreme change in myself throughout time. So if I go back into the first pages, like here, I'll tell you, like if you can see here, 1 year goals for 2021 was number one was graduate university, earn or make over $150,000 in 2021, and move to Toronto. Now, all of that stuff has been done and actually exceeded. And then here, where do I see myself in February 2022? And then I wrote a few things where I saw myself back then, and then my life is way better than what I wrote there. So it's funny. And a lot of things that I wrote there actually became true. So there's a lot of ways to actually tap into your subconscious mind using a few techniques like this. Like here you go. Like all of the stuff that I'm going to tell you to do and stuff, like I've done it myself. Like don't think I've skipped it and it's just bullshit. You can see here, it says, tag. I know my handwriting is shit, by the way. I never learned how to properly write. But yeah, you can. It says tackling my limiting beliefs. So limiting beliefs is, again, all of that stuff that we just talked about. The beliefs that you had that are wrong, that maybe you learned when you were a kid, that you have the opportunity now to change subconsciously. So there's a lot of techniques that we'll go over on how to do it. I don't want to like bombard you with too much info and too much shit that you can't even do it, but I'll share maybe like 2 to 3 things that you can do starting this week, starting after this call, matter of fact, so that you can start changing this stuff. So our first goal would be to switch your negative beliefs. Since a lot of you here said when you were a kid, you heard all kinds of stuff about money, or maybe who here heard that maybe your parents or your teachers or something told you that you're not good enough, or some kind of variation of this, or that you're not good enough or you're not worthy. Who has heard something like this before in your childhood? From jealous people. Yes, sir. Of course, not me. Yes. So some of these beliefs are not going to apply to everyone, right? Each one of us has different set of beliefs that we face depending on how our life was, you know? Some people were bullied, some people were not bullied, right? So those two people will have very different subconscious beliefs. Some people were born with money, so they're not going to have limiting beliefs about money, right? They were born with money and their parents had money, so they never heard the negative talk about it. So they're not going to have that. They're going to have other problems. James Wilson, I have those self-limiting beliefs, but I wasn't conditioned into it. Huh. Interesting. Mark Antoine, at first I didn't want to use the EA because my subconscious told me that it was cheating because I thought earning money is supposed to be hard and you got the sweat for every penny you make. You see, this is exactly the stuff I'm talking about. I'm glad that you, Mark, are conscious enough to even know that that was like your subconscious limiting beliefs acting up. So that's a very good thing that you're even aware and that you're sharing this. That's very good. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, let's be honest here. Like, money does not have to be extremely hard to make, and you have to sweat for it, and like you have to do construction in order to earn it. Like, no, there's smarter ways to do it. Do you think Bill Gates is worth billions because he's there like grinding his ass off every day? Well, yes and no. Sure, he worked extremely hard in the beginning to create these companies and stuff, but later on, all he has to do is literally put people in position, right? You just got to hire the right people to keep the company going, and he makes most of the money. Like, do you think he sweats every day and panics and stuff? No, there's people doing all kinds of stuff for him. So it's not supposed to be hard. Like, if you guys have a better way to make money, if you guys, instead of having to go out there and like, I live in like the 70 something floor, so it's very high. And there's literally people here that have to clean the windows. They have to go 75 floors up and clean windows, and I see them. And for any little fuck up they do, they could just fall off and die. It's crazy shit. And they don't even get paid well. They get paid nothing. Like, less than the average wage in America here. So it's crazy. And do you think that that guy, just because he's working hard and his quote unquote sweating for it, is getting paid well? He's not even getting paid well. So it was the money is never in just hard work. It was always in smart work. And if you guys have an opportunity here where you can use a system, an AI, EA, that can do most of the heavy lifting for you, and it lets you do just a couple of decisions per day, turn it on, turn it off, this, that, then why would you choose the hard route? Why? It makes no sense. I can also say that as well, and many other people in the trading world will tell you using an EA and robots is not sufficient and they don't work consistently over time. Okay, sure. There are a lot of people that say that. And in their experience, that may be true, but there's a lot of reasons why. Now, most people that even get these EAs and stuff don't ever sit down and learn how to use them, number one. Number two, a lot of the companies that sell EAs never even comes with instructions or nothing. It's like, hey, figure it out, bro. Here's the software, figure it out. And then, of course, when you have stuff like that, it's not going to work. But when you join something like what we have a community, 2,000 people. We've been around for over a year now, videos showing how to use it, all of this stuff. And you can go on Discord and you'll see a bunch of people getting results. That changes your beliefs. That's a great way. Like, if you're ever doubting what you're doing and like maybe you're training with the EA and you have a couple of doubts, the best thing you can do to build belief is go and see results. Go and see other people getting results with the same thing you have. So go on Discord, scroll up, you'll see a bunch of people winning. And that's an amazing way to build belief in what you do. But that's not the main subject of what we're talking about. I keep getting distracted by the comments. But yeah, we were talking about how to change your subconscious beliefs. So one of the things that I did, and I will share it with you, I already shared it before, but I'll share it again. Let me actually pull up the link to it so you guys can get it. Right here. All right. So let me talk about it first. The easiest way to tap into your subconscious belief is through there's two options. This is the easiest way, through either meditation or through hypnosis. So these are the only way that you can actually go and communicate to your subconscious brain. Now, I know a lot of people here don't believe in this kind of stuff, but look, if you've joined us here and you're doing the work, you do not want to skip this, man. You do not want to skip this. And if you ever have doubts that this is some bullshit, whatever, again, go watch my YouTube video that I linked in the chat, and you'll see how much I've changed doing exactly what I'm telling you here. I was broke and now I'm very successful. Chelsea said affirmations. Affirmations is one part of it, but there's more powerful stuff. But we'll be combining all of these things. We'll be combining a bunch of stuff to get you there faster. Because at the end of the day, we want you to fix this stuff fast. We don't want you to take 3 years, 4 years in order to do this. We want you from today to next year to see a massive result change in who you are as a human, in your bank account, and in your results, all of that. So we want to do it fast. All right. So in order to do that, we're going to have to stack a bunch of stuff together. And yeah, so if you guys do want to do this, I expect you guys to commit to this. And if you think, oh, hypnosis, meditation, bunch of bullshit, some ancient Chinese weird stuff, like, it's not that. I want you to have an open mind. Like, there's been a lot of studies made on this. If you want to read more scientific books about this stuff, there is a lot of them. For example, there's one by Dr. Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I think that's the name of it. I can't remember. I read it 2-3 years ago when I was in my college dorm room. But yeah, that one is a very scientific book and talks about this stuff, and how it talks about the subconscious mind, and that it literally governs 90% of what we do. And it goes deep into why meditation is one of the only ways to access that part of your brain and to be able to change it. So Steve said YouTube guided meditation. No. Don't do none of the YouTube stuff. Don't do none of that stuff. I will show you. I will give you the exact one that I used personally to change my beliefs. So in different phases of your life, you will need different kinds of meditations or different kinds of self-hypnosis and stuff like that. So right now we're on this call. We're focused on money, right? We're focused on money. We're focused on getting you to the next level financially. There is other stuff you can do for other problems in your life, but unfortunately, I wouldn't be the best expert at that. But I would be a pretty damn good expert at money and how you can get better financially. That's my forte. That's what I understand. So I can help you with that. All right. So the first thing is, like I said, meditation and hypnosis. So what I used to do, I used to use this meditation here. You can buy it for like $7 out of this woman. Her name is Marissa Peer. I'll leave the link. She worked with a lot of celebrities, with a lot of entrepreneurs and like 8 and 9 figure CEOs in massive companies to really work on their subconscious brain and get them to optimum performance on all kinds of stuff. So she's you can Google her and stuff. Like she's very, very legit. So she has these audios, these hypnosis audios, that if you do them and you do them right, they can go deep into your brain and delete all of the negative stuff that you believe about money. Now let's go. Let me show you. Can you put her name? Yes. Let me send you the link first. Actually, let me share my screen. We go through this stuff and then I'll leave the link. So this is the link. Let's Google her real quick, just so you can see that she's legit. Now, this is the woman. Marissa Beer, 65 years old. She's a renowned speaker, rapid transformational therapy trainer. So that was the thing. Rapid transformational therapy was the thing, the hypnosis thing that she does. So there's this one. This one is specifically about wealth. This is one specifically about money. Now, trust me, I gave this to myself. And after that, when I opened up this company with the people that worked for me, I gave this to them. I gave it to if you guys know Tony, I gave this to him. He had to do it. I gave it to my brother when he started working for me. I told him, yo, it's mandatory that you do this. Everyone that comes work for me and is especially in a very stressful role or performance-based role or like trading role, they have to do this one. They have to. Because if you're going to come in and work for me and you have a bunch of negative subconscious beliefs that no matter what I tell you, I can't fix because I'm talking to your conscious brain, like that's not going to work. So we're going to need to fix some. If you do have the problems, we need to fix them internally, deep down, with using stuff like this. So this is like $7. I know it says dirhams here because I'm in Dubai right now, so it's just auto converts, but it's $7 USD. And she has a bunch of other ones. Like if later on you guys have problems, like you don't think you're enough, or that you're there's a bunch of stuff here, like about confidence. If you feel like you don't have confidence, there's a bunch of stuff here that you can use. But like I said, this call here and our journey throughout the next couple of months is about money. So you want to focus on one thing at a time. Right now, we're going to focus about money. So we're going to fix your wealth problems. And this audio is about, I think, 15 to 20 minutes, something like that. It's not too long. It's not like to the point where you're going to fucking fall asleep, but it's also very effective. I've used this myself. I gave it to the people who worked for me, and I'm telling you, this helps a lot. You will see massive difference just doing this. Now, normally the minimum time that you need to do these kind of things before they really solidify in your brain and for your subconscious to get it is normally around 20 to 21 days. Because you have to understand, unlike our conscious brain understands information fast. I can, like a lot of you guys here, some of you never knew about this stuff, and now I told you about it, and now you know about it. But your subconscious brain is very hard to get to. It's not a part of your brain where you can just listen to a thing once and it will be enough to make a change. No. Your subconscious mind is very hard-headed, basically. You need to really drill into it multiple times, time after time after time after time, before it finally gets it. It's a bit slow. It's a bit retarded in a way. But yeah, once it's really drilled into it, now that becomes your new programming. So think about it. If your old programming was, hey, money is bad, blah, 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 money is hard to make, and you drill this stuff into your brain so hard that now your new subconscious programming is that I am abundance, money is so easy to make, I make money, I am worthy of making money. Now, that's for the rest of your life, that's your new subconscious programming. So this is hard work that you have to do for right now, for this period of the next couple of months that we're going to be together. And then later on, for the rest of your life, you don't have to do this anymore. You will be subconsciously programmed to think this way. So yeah, it's gonna be a little pain in the ass maybe in the beginning. You guys, some of you are gonna be like, oh, but I don't have time, and make up bullshit excuses. Like, listen, I don't want to hear any of that. I want you guys to do the work, because trust me, I want this for you, for your family. If you care about your family, you care about your kids, whatever you guys have, whatever situation you guys have going on, I want you guys to do the fucking work. Do the fucking work for yourself and for your loved ones, because once you're going to need to do hard work once, right? When I mean once, I mean in the period of the next couple of months, repeatedly. And then for the rest of your life, you don't have to worry about this stuff. You don't have to worry about money anymore. You don't have to worry about thinking in scarcity and being scared and all kinds of shit when it comes to finances. So do the work right now, be committed, and let's fucking change your situation forever. Mark Antoine said, I've done meditation for years, like Axel is saying. It is for sure a key in life in general, but I've never done it with my intention on wealth. Yes, so whatever you focus on, you're going to get, right? So if you've done meditations before, because there's different types of meditations, right? There's meditations for people to just clear their mind and think about nothing. I don't like those personally. Like there are some meditations where you just have to focus on breathing and think about nothing else. That's not my type of meditation. When I do these kind of things, it's always with a purpose. It's always with a goal behind it. Like, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I want to make more money. I want to remove my subconscious negative beliefs, and I want to be more wealthy, right? Okay, then let's do this. When they tell me like, oh, do this meditation and just focus on breathing and think about nothing, it doesn't make much sense to me, or at least not at this point in my life. So yeah, let me share the link with you guys. I want everyone here to get it. Right here. It's very cheap. Not going to break the bank. I know every single one of you here has $7. Like you guys spend that on Starbucks in the morning. So there's no excuse to not get it. The audio is about 20 minutes, and there's two most powerful times that you can do this. And this is important. You don't want to be doing this in the middle of the day. The two times in your day where your subconscious mind is most open to suggestions and most open to getting stuff into it is either right when you wake up or right before you go sleep. These are the times where your subconscious mind is very open and prone to receiving suggestions. All right. So either right before you sleep, you can put this on, whether you could is like little earphones or whatever, or if you live alone, you can put it on speaker, whatever. Everybody's different. And then do it, go to sleep, listening to this stuff, but be aware while she's saying the stuff she's saying. And then once it's done, you just go to sleep or right after you wake up. So for me personally, I used to do it. I tried both. And I prefer doing it right after I wake up because I would notice that when I do it right after I wake up for the rest of the day, I'm like super motivated, super eager to work, super like my mind is very positive and abundant. So I used to like doing it in the morning. I've also tried it at night. So you want to try both and see what works for you. Personally, I used to do it right after I wake up. And yeah, if you have a spouse or a wife or a husband, whatever, and like you're maybe like ashamed to do the stuff next to them, and then I don't know, like go do it on your couch, like get up, go on your couch and do it, or go in the separate bedroom and do it, whatever. But don't shy away from doing the actual stuff. You know, like there's no excuse. James said morning motivation sets you up for the day. I'll do morning, I think. Yeah, so this is not just motivation. It will motivate you, but it's not motivation, it's hypnosis. So the main premise of it, she will go deep into your brain, talk to your subconscious brain, delete the bad stuff, the negative stuff that you have about money, and then install new programming that is positive about money. And like I said, the subconscious mind, it takes a little time to really get shit into it. It's not like our conscious brain. Our conscious brain is smarter. It processes information faster, but our subconscious brain processes information very slow. But once it processes it, it stays there forever. Like they say, once you expand your mind, it can't retract back to what it was. Once you expand it and it's there, that's your new normal. All right, so we have a couple of people buying it already. That's amazing. Yeah, so guys, like I am not, just to let you know, I am not affiliated with this person. She's way bigger than I am. She's very popular. Like you can go to her YouTube and stuff. This is a popular person, and she does this for a living, and it works for millions of people. It's not just me, for millions of people. I'm just one of the people. So I'm not affiliated. I'm actually showing you what I personally use. So yeah, the other thing, let's go into some more practical exercises that you can do in your day. So first of all, you want to create a list of your limiting beliefs. So sit down with yourself, grab a pen and paper. Actually, let's do it right now. Do you guys have access to pen and paper or to your notes? Like Apple Notes, whatever. Yes. Notes on laptop. Yes. So look, if you guys can do it on pen and paper, is better. I've tried both. I've always found that when I do these kind of things on pen and paper, old school way, like old school way, pen and paper, it just works way better. But if you're like maybe I don't know somewhere else or in your job or something, you can't really do it, then it's okay. But if you're in your house, I'll give you a couple of seconds right now to go get pen and paper. All right. I'll wait for you here for a couple of for a bit, and then yeah, once you guys is ready, just tell me ready in the chat, and then we'll start doing. Is everyone ready? Awesome. So okay, take your pen, notes, whatever you're writing on, and think. What are your limiting beliefs? What is it that you think about money that is limiting you? Like it could be anything. It's like for Marc Antoine, he said that he believes that money is supposed to be hard to make and you need to sweat for it. So that's a limiting belief. Write it down. Write it down. If your belief is money is hard to make, write it down. If your belief is that money is evil, write it down. Any beliefs that you have that you feel like are limiting you, write them down. And it doesn't have to be just about money. It can be about yourself. So if you don't feel like you're worthy and you don't deserve success and you don't deserve to have a good life, write it down. Write down, that's my limiting belief. If you believe that you're not good enough and that's why you don't deserve to get success, write it down. I'm not good enough. Write it down. Write down all of them. So anything you heard growing up as a kid that was very negative, if you remember a scenario where you were a kid and your mom was like, money doesn't grow on trees, or like, yo, we have to stop spending because it's so hard to make money and all kinds of stuff. Write it down, all of it. Just let it all out. Done my major self-limiting beliefs. I already know these. Perfect. Awareness is the first step to solving the problem. Is awareness, is being aware that there is a problem, because a lot of people don't even know that there's a problem, so they can't fix it. All right, once you guys are done, just write down done in the chat, and then I'll give you guys the next step. Okay, so I see most people are done. I'll just wait a couple more seconds. Maybe a couple of you still doing it. Chelsea, how do you limit your exposure to other people around you that are very negative? It's a very good question. So to answer your question, Chelsea, you have to be very ruthless when it comes to yourself and protecting your own energy. This is just the way it is. If you have people in your life and they're very negative, and they could be your friends for 10 years and they don't support you, they're very negative, all they talk about is their problems and being depressed and all this stuff, you need to get rid of these people. As cold-hearted as it sounds, trust me, as long as you are around these people, you will be in that same energy wave that they're in, and you will not be able to progress, and all of the stuff that we're doing here will be for nothing. Because as humans, we're very prone to energy and other people's energies. So for example, if you have friends, or maybe even your parents, I know a lot of you guys here are older, so maybe you don't live with your parents, but maybe there's a couple of people here that still live with their parents and stuff like that. Let's just give that scenario. Let's say your parents are extremely negative people. They don't support you. They just talk bad on you. They're just very negative overall. And whenever you're around them, it's draining your energy, and you just feel worse each time that you're around this person. Listen, no matter what you have to do, you have to leave. You have to leave that person alone. So if it means relocating to another house, do it. If it means that you need to relocate to another city, do it. Whatever it is, do it. It doesn't matter if it's your parents, if it's your friends, if it's your wife. Let's say you're married and your wife is extremely negative. And whatever you say is like, hey, baby, I have this idea. I want to do this. And she's like, shut up, bro. You ain't going to do nothing. You're going to go to your job and shut up. If it's this kind of relationship, first you want to address it. Be like, yo, I need you to stop being negative. I'm working on myself, and I need support from you. And if you're not going to support me, I'm going to leave. If she stays like that, leave, bro. Trust me, that is not good for your life. And all of the stuff here that we're doing is not going to work if you're around these type of people that keep bringing you down and draining your energy. Trust me, it's not going to work. You want to be... There's this other video, actually. This is good that you mentioned this. There's this other video I made. I'm very open about my journey when it comes to this stuff because I'm very passionate about it, and I know it can help so many people if they just realize some of this stuff. Let me see, where's the video? It was the video where I went back to the old places where I used to live, and I showed each one of the places. And then in the video itself, the last place that I was in before I moved to Toronto was a place where I lived alone. And in the video, I said, and the one before that, I used to live with roommates that were doing drugs. They were super negative. They used to fight, and like, I don't do any of that stuff. And they were just super negative people, and they just brought their problems to me or to around the house. It was just negative energy around the house. And in that video, I said, it wasn't until I left that environment and I lived alone by myself with no one bothering me that I was able to really flourish and find out all this stuff and have even the mental peace and fortitude to even sit down, read, and focus on learning all of this stuff. So this is why I'm telling you this. Like, if you're in a situation where you're living with people who are negative, I would really, 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 really suggest to do anything you can to leave, even if it means downgrading your lifestyle to living in a less appealing place than maybe you're living in now. But trust me, long term, you will not regret it, because you need that peace of mind and support if you're going to go through this journey. And if nobody wants to support you, it's better to go through it alone. My wife is not negative, but at the same time, she doesn't motivate me to reach my goal. So that's not a problem. If she's just neutral, that's not a problem. If she doesn't bring you down, but doesn't necessarily uplift you, that's okay. She can stay. I'm talking about the ones that bring you down. That's dangerous. If she's just neutral, it's okay. As soon as you start getting results and you start showing her results and that you're actually making money and doing great, she's going to start supporting you then. You know? That's all she needs to see is like some actual real visual proof. Once she sees that, she'll support you. But as long as she's not bringing you down, then that's okay. Okay, so back to our exercise here. So you guys wrote down your negative beliefs. Now, this is what you have to do. You have to start challenging those beliefs. So for example, I found some old stuff here that I wrote about 3 years ago. This was, I think, probably before I started trading Forex, or around the time that I discovered Forex in general. And I'm gonna read it with you guys. So we'll be completely open with each other during this coaching, and we'll just share all of the stuff together. And you're open to be vulnerable here. It's okay. Well, we're all together in this group to share knowledge with each other, and to grow and support each other, right? So this was something I wrote 3 years ago, and I'm gonna read it to you and how I break it down. So the limiting belief, so I write limiting belief, 2 dots. I don't have the skills to own my own successful business. It's not secure / dependable long term. So that was my negative belief. All right. Then what you do is you ask a question. You write it down. You say, is this true? Is it true? And you put a question mark. And then you just answer it. And what I said, maybe right. This was my answer to my negative belief. Maybe right now in this very second, I don't have all the skills, but I'm working on it. The biggest skill I am lacking is communication. And that's exactly what I'm improving on right now. So for the next couple of years, put myself in a situation where I have to do a lot of sales jobs and communication. That way you can actually own the business. All other stats I can easily learn. All other skills I can easily learn fast, as I am a tech geek anyways. So that was my limiting belief. My limiting belief was that, hey, I don't have enough skills to own a business. Hey, it's not secure, dependable long term. So you want to give yourself a logical objection to why your statement is not true. Let me find something else that is a bit more on the money side, like more along your guys' lines. Where is it? Trying to find stuff. But basically the premise is that you want to ask, is it true? Okay, let's say you put in, let's say your negative belief is money is hard to make. And then you're going to say, is it true? And then you want to find every single proof that it's not true. You want to find everything. So you can be like, well, no, it's not true, because I know guys on the internet online making millions of dollars per month easily through doing it online. I know a bunch of people, and I see them, that make so much money from trading, and it's not necessarily hard work that they had to fucking sweat and kill themselves for it. They had to put in some work, but it wasn't like super crazy. I can do it as well. If your negative belief is I don't know, give me one in the chat and I'll give you an example. Give me a negative belief in the chat and I'll give you an example of how to do it. Okay, so Edward said his negative belief is that he tried so many things to be successful for so long that he feels like he will never be successful. Okay, I'll tell you how you can logically give an objection to that. You're going to write down limiting belief, 2 points, and you're going to write exactly what you just said. Tried so many things to be successful, and I feel like I will never be successful. Okay, cool. Then you're going to put a question. Is this true? And then you're going to find reasons why it's not true. Let me tell you a reason why it's not true. You said you tried so many things to be successful, and okay, there are so many entrepreneurs out there and people out there in life that failed so many times, and in the end, they just had to get one thing right. They just had to get one thing right, and then that was the catalyst to change the rest of their lives. So in reality, you just need to get one thing right. You just need to find that one thing that's going to change everything. And then boom, for the rest, that's it. That's going to be the catalyst to change everything. What is the example of who was it? Thomas Edison, that he tried he tried the like making the light bulb like 900 times or whatever, or I don't know the actual number. Maybe it's like 99 times, and then he failed each 99 time, but on the 100th he was successful. So that is right there is proof that what you're saying is not necessarily true. Sure, maybe you did try so many things, but maybe you didn't land on the right thing yet. And as soon as you land on it, you will then get your success that you deserve. Make sense? So you want to find proof out there in the world that what you're saying is not true. And then you want to go down and write it. Okay, so James Will says his negative belief is that he doesn't believe that he has the right to be successful. Okay, let me ask you this question. James, do you believe in God, James? Undecided. Okay, so you're not sure. Okay, cool. Let's say that you did believe in God. Do you think that God put you on this planet? He created you. It took so much time to create you, so many resources, two people having to come together and create you, all of this stuff, just for you to have a miserable life? Do you really think that you were put on this planet just to have a miserable life and then die? No. Exactly. He said no. So he doesn't believe that. Okay. Do you believe, James, that in life, if you make the right choices, you basically create your own reality as you go? So depending on choices you make, that will be the dictator of your reality. He said yes. Okay, cool. So based on those two things right there, if you weren't born here, if you weren't put on earth to just be fucking miserable fuck and die, and you do believe that depending on the choices you make, et cetera, that you can actually be successful and create your life, then it's not true that you don't have the right to be successful. All you need to do is think abundantly and make the right choices that are going to take you to success, and then you will inevitably reach success. Do you see how you break down your own, like how you logically just break it down and completely what's the word I'm looking for? Like you completely just I don't know the word. Fuck. You just basically completely break down the lie and realize how you're just lying to yourself. Yeah, basically, you disprove the belief you had. You just break down that negative belief logically, like so your brain can understand that, oh shit, this is actually not true. So yeah, I want you guys to sit down right now for the next couple of minutes, however long it takes, and every single negative belief that you wrote, I want you to do exactly what I just did right now. Say, ask yourself and write it down. Is it true? Question mark. And then after that, find real logical ways to completely break that shit down. Find proof out there in the world that what you're saying is not true and that is just a bunch of bullshit that was from years ago that doesn't apply to you right now, or that was never true, and that maybe that was your parents' beliefs and it's not your beliefs, that was your parents' beliefs. And find any way, all the proof that you need to break it down. All right, so let's start right now. Whatever piece of paper you had, do what I just told you. Is it true? And then break it down, find all logical answers to disprove that belief. Whenever you guys are done, just type in done in the chat, and that's it. If you still need a couple minutes, it's okay. Is everyone done? Let's give it a couple more seconds. All right. So I think most of you are done. If you're not done, you can complete it while I talk, because I have a couple of people here in the chat that are struggling with how to do theirs. So Edward, let's talk about yours. Are you here, Edward? If yes, just type yes in the chat. Okay, cool. So your negative belief or your limiting belief is that you're lazy and sometimes will do stupid stuff rather than going for action that will change my life and procrastinate. Cool. That's your negative belief. That's what you believe about yourself. Edward, was there ever a time in your life where you did not procrastinate and you were actually working hard and getting to it? It could be in college, it can be in school, it can be maybe during where you were playing soccer. I don't know, something in your life that you did and you were not procrastinated, you were excited for it, and you took action in it. Yes or no? Okay. So the way that you disprove that what you said is not true is like you said, okay, this is not true because I remember such time I was extremely motivated. I did all the work and I took all the action to change my life. So therefore, what I just said right here is not true. So maybe you're procrastinating and stuff because maybe you don't enjoy what you're doing. Or maybe you just holding on to a belief that is not true, where you actually have the power inside of you to be very active and not procrastinate and rather be very productive and stuff when you're doing the right stuff. So just right there, this proves that your belief is not true. Make sense, Edward? Awesome. Okay, so Xavier has a hard one here. He says, my negative belief is that I think I just been unlucky when it comes to making money in the market. Right? So he just believes that he's unlucky. So your main thing is that you're unlucky, right? I don't necessarily believe in luck. Just as a side note, maybe I do, maybe I don't. It is one of those weird ones. Personally, I believe if you're at the right energy, you're at the right vibration, you just attract good stuff to you. And those people usually are called lucky. And the ones that are unlucky are the ones that either have a lot of negative beliefs, a lot of like what we're doing here. If you think that you are unlucky, I promise you will always be unlucky. If that's the programming in your brain, you will always be unlucky because that's what you want to believe about yourself. Maybe sometime something happened in your life where it was like bad, and from there you chose to put yourself the label that you're unlucky, and that just stuck in your brain, and from there on you've been running with the programming that, hey, I'm just unlucky, whatever happened, hey, I'm just unlucky. That's very dangerous. So the way to disprove that is that, hey, in your life, did something ever happen to you that was good and it was just like out of nowhere? You were just at the right time, at the right place, and something good just happened to you. It could be big, it could be small, whatever. Hello, Xavier? He said yes. Okay, so why at that time when that happened to you, you didn't label yourself as lucky instead? And you ran with that programming. Instead, something negative happened to you.
Okay, give us 2 minutes. Give me two.
Uh, yeah, but instead, sorry about that. But instead, you chose to label yourself unlucky when something negative happened to you, and then that fucked you up. Yo, Scotty, can you stay muted? Thanks. Yeah, so Ara here just told you, Axel is 100% right. Additionally, the market is the market, no matter what. It's the same data for everyone. However, your state of mind allows you to either be receptive to opportunity or blocked. 100%. That's very true. So your belief within is that you're unlucky overall. So you want to change that. You want to write down, I am unlucky, and then is it true? And then find all kinds of reasons that you're not unlucky. You want me to give you a reason that you're not unlucky? You're here right now. You had enough money to pay to get in, to get the EA, to all this stuff. So you're definitely not out of luck. Matter of fact, you have internet, you have a house, so you're very lucky. There's people out there with none of this stuff that I just talked about. You want to know why you're lucky? You're alive. There's people that are dead. I see here that your picture is in the army. There's people that died in the army, never came back. I'm pretty sure you're aware of that. So you're very lucky. So there's all kinds of reasons why you are lucky. So just completely disapprove that thing that you said. It's not true. Make sense? Awesome. Edward says all this feels so logical. Yeah, because here's the thing. There's different types of people. There's emotional people and there's logical people. Personally, I'm a logical person. So I had to find a logical approach to do this stuff. Because some people, you can just tap into their emotions and be like, hey, like all these motivational speakers and stuff, right? All they tap into is your emotions. Hey, you're gonna do great. You're gonna do this, that, that. And it maybe pumps you up at that time, and you're pumped up for a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily solve the problem deep down. Instead, I find that going with a logical approach like what we're doing here, breaking it down and just seeing how your subconscious is still very flawed from stuff from the past, this really helps you like understand like, whoa, I've been running with old ass programming that is wrong all this time, and now I have the opportunity to fix it. So in a way, you're empowering yourself because now you have the opportunity to fix it, literally. All right, let's do. Edward said, my associate has the belief that he is exhausted most of the time and therefore can't function correctly. How would you disprove this one? He's exhausted most of the time. Well, I mean, why is he exhausted most of the time? Is it like, is there a reason why he's exhausted? Is he getting the nutrition he needs? Is he sleeping enough? Is he working out and taking care of himself physically? If it's not one of those things, it's fucked up, then of course he's going to be exhausted. So that's not necessarily a negative belief as much as maybe something in his life is fucked up. So yes, he does. So he works out, he eats properly, and he gets enough sleep, and he believes he's exhausted. Okay. So in that case, just maybe what he does just doesn't excite him. Whatever, because there's certain people who go into a line of work, and if that line of work doesn't really match with what their soul wants and what their spirit wants, like they'll be exhausted. They'll be like, they wouldn't want to do it. They're like, fuck, man, I have to do this again. Like, do you think there's anybody there that's flipping burgers and is excited to do it? Like, it's very rare, let's be honest, because it's just the line of work. Like, nobody wants to fucking flip burgers and be underpaid and all of that. So that, I don't know if I would consider that a negative belief, more as maybe he just doesn't like what the fuck he does. All right, let's do a couple of examples of what you guys did. So I want someone here, you can just raise your hand, and then I want you to tell me the negative belief that you wrote down, and then how you actually disproved it and logically disproved it and all of that. So you can just raise your hand and share with us. Okay, so I have Dual Marine here. Go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
What's going on, fam? So one of my negative beliefs is, and I believe this is a negative belief, is folks plot against me, or people are against me. Okay, so in reality, that's not true. I'm very likable. I mean, pretty much everywhere I go, I'm pretty much, popular guy. Guys draw to me. I'm a leader. People look up to me, and I am the man.
Was there ever a time in your life where people actually did good stuff for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then that's it. Then what you're saying,
there we go.
Is not necessarily true.
That's right. That's right.
This
is awesome, brother. Just want to let you know, man. This is awesome, bro.
Thank you, bro. All right. Who else wants to share with us like a negative belief that they had, especially if it has to do with money, and that they just found a way right now to completely disprove it? Just raise your hand. Come on now, don't be shy. I'm not gonna eat you. If you don't want to talk on the microphone, maybe share it with us in the chat. I'll give you a couple of minutes to type in the chat.
Hey, Axel. Actually, I don't know how to raise my hand on the Zoom. So,
Sure.
all right, sure. So basically, I have a negative belief that is that I'm just bad at mathematics and graphics and geometry and so on. And basically, I tackled that belief just by thinking that in the past I tried business engineer studies, and it worked out pretty well when I put the work in. And yeah, in the end, I ended having mostly the year passed. So that's the way I break that limiting belief, and also that I try to understand the markets with all the pips and calculations and so on to really understand everything. And therefore, I broke this belief that I was bad in mathematics.
So your belief was that because, like your real belief was because you're bad in maths, you cannot make it in trading because
Yeah.
basically you won't know how to count your pips and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And now that I improved, because I really wanted it as fuck. I basically don't believe this anymore,
Mm-hmm. Well,
even if there's still a lot of things to learn, of course.
there's a lot of things to learn, and to be honest, you do not even need to be a math genius to be good in trading. Not at all. Especially now, if you're like using automated trading bot, like sure, it's a bunch of numbers and stuff, but like a lot of your results will come from just testing a couple of variables and stuff like that. It's not necessarily calculating some crazy complicated formula and stuff like that. So overall, your belief is not really valid, bro. You do not need to be a math genius to be a good trader.
Okay.
So Seb says, I don't have a microphone right now, but I always thought my mindset was too weak. And that was his negative belief. And his answer is that he got today is he's working on it right now and nothing will stop him. Okay, so that's not an answer. So this is not a valid answer. What you want to do is this. You want to find proof or something in the past or something where your mindset was actually strong, where your mindset was very strong, where it's the opposite of what you're saying right here. Was there ever a time where you were very determined to do something and you got all the obstacles out of your way and actually ended up doing it and doing it successfully? Stuff like this. You want to find situations like that that disprove that you have a weak mindset. You want to find proof, logical proof. And so your brain can be like, aha, you see, motherfucker, I caught you. This thing is not true. Boom. Here's why. Okay, anybody wants to share one last one with us in the chat? Before we move on to the next thing. So you were in huge debt and you had to sell your house against everybody telling you not to do it. And then you did it. And did you wipe out your debt and now you're good? Awesome. And right there. There's something where you needed to have a strong mindset against everyone who told you not to. And you believed in yourself and you thought that was the right decision. And then you made it happen. And now you're in better than where you were before. So let's go. Steve says, I have been on this road for the last 3 years, meditating, raising vibrations, and the change in my life has been amazing. That's great. But Steve, have you ever like had it directed towards a goal? Like not just raising your vibration to just raise your vibration, which is cool, but have you ever done it to achieve goals, to make more money, to all this kinds of stuff? Or not really? Not until now. Yes, I set goal and all have been met. Last one is 4. That's amazing. So as you can see, Steve has been on this kind of journey, very similar to myself, but maybe in other areas, not necessarily Forex and money, etc. And he said all of his goals have been met. And his last one right now that he's working on is becoming successful at Forex. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna get this on his list as well. So good stuff. Now, when you have people like Steve, it becomes easier. The more that you start actually doing stuff and making it happen and checking goals off your checklist, the easier it becomes to achieve more and more and more stuff. The hard part is in the beginning. That's the hard part. I know a lot of you guys how hard it is. Hello? 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 I don't know what happened with the microphone here. Hey. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I think it's good to go. I think I was playing around with the cables. No, but what I said was when you have people like, for example, me or even Steve right here who achieved a few things and already believes in this kind of stuff, it becomes way easier to achieve stuff. But when you're like a complete beginner, you don't have much proof that you're actually good at what you're saying you want to be good at and all this stuff. That's the most challenging part. So one of the best things that you can start doing for yourself is start getting proof that you are actually good at this stuff. So if your goal is to get good at trading, each time that you're getting results in trading, each time you put on the EA and you have positive results and stuff like that, start saying, look, this is actual proof that what I'm saying is true. If I said I am good at trading and I make, I don't know, 6 figures a year income in trading, and you start seeing results with your EA, even if it's on demo, doesn't matter. Anything to build belief. You want to start stacking up wins, win after win after win. If you get 3 successful, profitable days in a row, that's a win. You know, everything, you want to have as much proof as possible that what you're actually doing, you're in the right direction. And over time, you keep building up until you reach massive goals. That's how it works. And then the more that you do this, the easier it becomes. And the higher you can start aiming. For example, at my level, I'll start aiming at stuff that to a lot of people is impossible, right? But to me, because I've done all these kind of things before, I'm like, if I was able to do all this stuff, I'll be able to do X, Y, Z thing as well. So you want to start believing your belief system. I mean, you want to start building your belief system. Sorry. All right, let's see the last exercise we can do for today. All right, Steve said, my wife put me down all the time and we ended up splitting, and this was over Forex. I went into a bad time in my life. Then no money, no house, no wife, no nothing. I mean, like I said before, if you have people in your life who bring you down and put you down, you have to get rid of them. Doesn't matter if it's your wife or your brother or whatever. If they're not in your life to bring you up, to support you, or at the least minimum to just be neutral, then they need to go down, because anything that's negative and put you down is going to affect you, and it's going to make your journey way harder than it should be. You're better off alone. So you made a good decision. Chelsea here says, okay, so this is the last one we're going to do about limiting beliefs before we move on to the next one, which is self-image. But she says, my limiting belief is mostly about my health. I succeed in life financially. I own a profitable cleaning business. Everything I put my mind and efforts to, I succeed in. But when my health goes downhill, I have issues with staying motivated and keeping my mindset straight. Okay. This one's a bit difficult. This one's a bit hard. So you have limiting beliefs about your health, and then you link your health to your success. Because if you don't have good health, then it's hard to have success. This one's a hard. I'm trying to see if there's something that can help you here. I'm on the Marissa Peer thing. When you're saying health, what do you mean? Like, do you have an incurable disease like cancer, stuff like that? Or is it something minor? Maybe, I don't know, some other stuff like headaches, not something like too crazy. Chelsea? I think she's typing. For the last 10 weeks. Okay, so yours is a bit harder because, like, it is true that health can definitely affect your success and be motivated to do this stuff. So you want to focus on your health, you know, been bedridden basically for that entire time. Okay. So your journey will be to recover from that. So if your business is doing well financially with the cleaning business, all of that stuff, that's pretty good. So you'll have maybe a different personal journey than just wealth. Your personal journey could be to rebuild yourself, to rebuild your confidence, to rebuild everything, and to love yourself as this, even with all these operations and stuff that you had, and to basically create this new identity, right? Because now you have problems that you didn't have before, et cetera, et cetera. You had surgery, all of this stuff. So now you should learn to love this new version of yourself and find a way to make it manageable. So yours is not necessarily going to be just wealth and stuff, because wealth is good, but sometimes wealth cannot fix health. And in the ideal world, you want to have both. So next up, we're going to do something called working on your self-image. So this is very important. How long is this call? I've been going at it for a while. Whatever, man, doesn't matter. I have the time. I hope this is not boring. If you guys want to stop here, tell me. If not, then we can keep going. If you want this to be for the next session, we can do it. If not, just tell me keep going and I'll keep going. Okay, so most people. Let's go for it. All right, let's do. Okay, let's do just one last one. One last one. So this one is self-image. So self-image is basically how you view yourself. So your self-identity, how you see yourself. And this is extremely important. If you remember in the beginning of the call, I said, you will never be able to surpass your self-image. You'll never be able to surpass your self-image. So if in your head, you're just this average Joe, median income earning man or woman or whatever, then that's the maximum you'll ever be, because that's what you believe yourself to be. If your self-image, the way you view yourself is that you're a loser and you can't really get anything going for your life and you're a mess and all of this stuff, then that's all you will ever be, and you will never exceed that. The first step to changing your situation, other than the subconscious stuff that we already talked about, is also changing your self-image. And the self-image is also part of your subconscious brain. That's how your subconscious brain sees itself. So like I said, if you see yourself as a loser, that's all you're ever going to be. That's all you're ever going to amass to. So it is very important to do these things. So right now, there's two things in this exercise. So as you can see, I've done it myself. Like I said before, all the stuff I'm telling you to do, I've done it myself. So this is the exercise here. There's two things. So basically, as you can see, I did it in February 2021. So that's over a year ago now. So you want to create two identities, basically. You're gonna write something. So if you have pen and paper, pick this up. If you don't, then do it on your phone, find a way. You're gonna write old identity. You're gonna write old identity, and then you're gonna make bullet points. And then you're gonna write new identity, and you're gonna put bullet points. So basically, in your old identity, you want to write everything down that you think you currently have right now that is stopping you from becoming successful. Okay? So anything from your identity currently that you think is stopping you from being successful, write it down. That is your old identity. Write it down. So this could be anything. It could be some character flaws that you think you have. It could be I don't know, confidence problems that you think you have. It could be anything from your old identity. It could even be like, if you, let's say you were a garbage man. This is just as an example to be extreme. Let's say you were a garbage man, and that's what you saw yourself as, and that in a way stops you from growing. So put that in your old identity. For example, here in mine, I can see one of the problems I see there was very egotistical in my old identity. It could be anything that stops you from growing. When you're done, just type done. I'm gonna go get some water, guys. So just take your time. You guys done? Okay, so I see a lot of people are done. Give a few more seconds for the rest. All right. All right. So that's your old identity. All right. This is what you view yourself as right now. And now we're going to create your new identity. We're going to create who you want to be. We're going to create the person that is going to be capable of achieving the stuff that you're talking about, or that, excuse me, I need to burp. Now we're going to create the person that's going to actually achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. We're going to create that person. Just like you're creating a character, like a cartoon character, you can actually create yourself. And now you have the opportunity to do so. So, for example, I'm going to read some of mine. So, in my new identity, and this was done over a year ago, I put sharp and smart, massive business action taking person, charismatic and persuasive leader, wealthy and successful, high performance individual, looks up and associates with big business moguls, new circle of like-minded successful people. So those were mine. That's what I wrote. So write what you resonate with. So as everything that this new person that you're going to be has. So how is this person? Is he sharp? Is he smart? Is he disciplined? Disciplined is a big one. Is he disciplined? How is this new person? How is he wealthy or she wealthy? All of that stuff, write it all down. What do you do for a living? Do you trade full time? Does he? Do you own businesses? Do you own real estate? What do you do? Write it down. Anything that you want this new identity to be and have or behave like, write it down. This is your chance to create this new person. Perfect. Whenever you're done, just write done. All right. So I see most of you people. So now you just created your new baseline. So the old identity is an identity that from now on, moving forwards, from today on, you basically kill that person. You shoot them in the head. That person does not exist anymore. That's your old identity, and you do not identify with that anymore. Now you just created a brand new baseline for yourself. Your new identity, whatever you just wrote down, is now what you have to become, and what deep down you should believe that you already are. And it's just a matter of time before you get it. So right now, this new person, this is what you should be identifying as. Speak like you are this person. Walk like you are this person. Dress like you are this person. Behave like you are this person that you just wrote down, that resonates with your new identity. The old one, the old Chelsea, the old Edward, the old Seb, the old Steve, the old Alex, the old James, they're dead. That's it. It's gone. We killed them in this call. They're dead. Now there's new versions of you. RIP, exactly. RIP. They're dead. Now we're creating new versions, better versions, versions that achieve everything that they're set out to do. A new version of yourself that will take over, basically, that will actually grant you the life you've always been waiting for and that you always wanted to live. So we'll end this call off here at the identity section and self-image. We'll work way more on this kind of stuff moving forwards. This was just day one, and we already did like fucking 2 hours here. So I'm telling you, this stuff is there's a lot of work to do. It's very deep, and I might even have to do like 2 sessions a week, to be honest. Me personally, I don't mind. I don't mind doing 2 sessions. I'm not greedy with time and stuff. I don't mind. Depends on you guys. If you guys can handle 2 sessions of this kind of stuff per week, I can do it. So yeah, because there's a lot to uncover when it comes to this. And as you can see, these sessions can get pretty long. But yeah, I see a lot of people have had a good time here. Edward said, how do you remind yourself of your new identity throughout the day? Okay, that's a pretty damn good question. We'll get deeper and deeper into that, because this new identity that you just created today, we will use later on. So, all right, actually, let me give you some homework. So first homework is, where is it? Is you need to buy this stuff and you need to start doing it. Here. Wealth wiring, make sure you get it. It's only $7. I'm not associated with this company. I'm just giving you what I personally used, and I really, really suggest that you use it, because this is one of the parts that you will need in order to change your subconscious brain. Like what we did down, like writing down the limiting beliefs and all this stuff, that's amazing, and that definitely works. But you need something more powerful than just that. You need to really enter into your subconscious brain. So do this one. Like I said, the best times to do it is either right after you wake up. So you just woke up, you just opened your eyes, go get your headphones, whatever, do it. If you want to or the second one is right before you sleep. So let's say you're winding up for the day, you already ate your dinner, you're in your pajamas or whatever, you're about to go sleep, put the recording on, put some headphones on, and then make sure that you focus on what she's saying and go with the flow. So I know some of you never have done this kind of stuff, so you'll feel a difference. You'll feel something, but you have to be open-minded and be open to her suggestions, because if deep down you don't believe that this stuff will work, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. If you believe that you're ready for change and you're open to her suggestions and what she's going to tell you, and that she's going to actually put all this stuff, all this positive programming and deleting your old programming, then it's going to work for you. So we got to do that for 21 days, right? So yeah, that's the minimum. So 21 days minimum. As we're going to go with time, we're going to create other stuff. So like what his name, Edward asked, how do you remind yourself? The identity you created today for yourself, the new identity, we're going to be using it throughout the next sessions and throughout our time together here, and hopefully even after we're done with the coaching and stuff. I want you to stick to that new identity, and we're gonna like create specific visualizations and stuff like that. That's gonna be specific to just you using your new identity and all of that. So for now, the homework is to buy the wealth wiring, start doing it every single day. You just have to do it once a day. You don't have to do it multiple times a day, just once a day, either right after you wake up or right before you wake up. I want everyone tomorrow. Edward says, do you think everybody should stay off TikTok and stuff like that? That's a good damn question. So me at the time where, if you watch the video where I was 3 years ago and stuff, I I did remove all my socials personally. I removed everything. I removed Instagram. I removed, well, TikTok wasn't really that big then, but I personally, I did remove all my socials because I wanted the minimum amount of external influence. Because you go on Instagram, you start seeing your friends and stuff partying and stuff, and you start getting influenced. And I wanted maximum influence from people who I wanted to be like. So I would only go on YouTube and watch videos from either traders or from massive business people that were successful. So that's what I did. If you think it's gonna help you, then do it. But yeah, the first homework is to start doing the wealth wiring. The second thing I want you to do is to like buy a notebook. Like buy something like this. It could be just a normal notebook. You probably already have one in your house laying somewhere. Or if you have kids, they already have one. You can steal one from them, doesn't matter. But yeah, have one of these, and then go back and the exercises that we did here today, do them again. So the limiting beliefs, sit down and write it down on your journal or on your notebook, whatever you want to call this. Do it again. Defy your limiting beliefs again. And this way we can have a book that throughout our time together and even afterwards, you're going to come back to. And like a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you're going to pick up this book and look at the very first pages and you're going to be like, God damn, everything I wrote here became true. Just like I can do it now. You see all my goals there have all been achieved. And I'm like, damn, I wrote this 2-3 years ago. And everything that's written there has been done. I want you to do the exact same thing. And whenever we're doing these sessions, I want you to have your notebook with you. So if you have to take it with with you, do it. If you have it in your desk, whatever, keep it with you. Is it mandatory to do it on paper version or e-notebook is okay? No, do it on a paper version. Everything is way more powerful when you write it down, physically write it down with pen and paper. It's just, I don't know what it is, but it's just some magic that happens there, and is not the same as just typing it on your phone. James said it ingrains it in your mind. I think so. I think it's true because you're physically like more involved in the actions you're writing, is more prone to go into your subconscious than just typing it. So yeah, do the exercises again that we did here. The self-image, or we'll start off with the limiting beliefs, then the self-image. And yeah, we'll stop it at that for the homework and then the wealth wire. All right, guys. Damn, that was long. Ooh. I've got my notebook that I started writing on this very first session. That's amazing. All right, any last questions or anything before we leave? I'm gonna make sure to upload this as well. Amazing. Cheers. I need food and a wee. Yeah, man. Sorry to keep you held up. Thanks for all the value. Absolutely. Thanks, bro. It was very nice. Awesome, man. All right. And we'll end it off. I'll make sure to upload this to our portal. By the way, the session from yesterday from Claysol has been uploaded. So if you go to your customer portal, you'll find yesterday's session when it comes to the EA trading. You'll also find the manual trading session that we did with Ara as well. And I'll upload this one today. Chelsea, do you know if there's a health version of the wealth wiring? I do believe that she has health versions, yes. And also, by the way, Chelsea, because I know you said you already own a successful business and like money isn't necessarily a big problem. They actually have something called Rapid. Let me actually give you the link so you can go. Rapid. Let me give you the link. They can make something custom for you. It costs like $400 and you'll basically have a one-on-one session with like a therapy that is trained by her, and they can make a custom audio just for you in your situation, and you'll be basically getting hypnotized live on the Zoom session with her. It's not that expensive, to be honest. It's worth it. I had some of the people who work for me who had deeper problems do this kind of stuff as well. Fuck. Where is the thing? Wait, let me stop the recording.